Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. Today we are going to analyze a very recent game of former world champion Magnus Carlsen. This game was played in an online tournament on chess.com where he faced a talented young player from Bangladesh. The game began with white opening with the move pawn to e4. Magnus Carlsen responded with Alekhine's defense, moving his knight to f6 to immediately challenge the e4 pawn. White pushed the pawn to e5, attacking the knight, and Magnus moved his knight to d5. White then continued with pawn to d4, establishing a strong center, while Magnus repositioned his knight to b6. White followed up with pawn to c4, and Magnus struck back with pawn to d6, challenging White's center. White developed the knight to f3, and Magnus brought out his other knight to c6, increasing pressure on the center. White pushed the pawn to d5, attacking Magnus's knight but overlooking a critical detail. This move left the e5 pawn undefended. Magnus seized the opportunity and captured the undefended e5 pawn with his knight. White played knight takes e5, and Magnus responded with pawn takes e5. White then developed his knight to c3. Magnus continued with pawn to e6, attacking White's center. White blundered again with pawn to c5, allowing Magnus to play knight takes d5. White recaptured with knight takes d5, and Magnus responded with pawn takes d5, creating a strong center. White developed their bishop to e2, and Magnus played pawn to c6, solidifying his powerful center. After White castled, Magnus owned another pawn with bishop takes c5. White moved the king to h1, unpinning the f pawn, and Magnus responded by castling. White then advanced with pawn to f4, but Magnus countered by pushing pawn to e4, creating a strong passed pawn. White continued with pawn to f5, aiming for the push, pawn to f6, but Magnus halted this idea by playing pawn to f6 himself. White developed the bishop to g4, and Magnus played rook to e8, placing additional support for his powerful passed pawn. White played bishop to f4, and Magnus responded with bishop to d6. White then shifted his bishop to e3, but Magnus attacked the b2 pawn with bishop to e5. White defended with bishop to d4, and Magnus continued his pressure by moving his queen to d6, targeting the pawn on h2. White played bishop takes e5, and Magnus was intending to play queen takes e5. However, the unwanted happened. Magnus's mouse slipped, and his queen accidentally landed on the vulnerable e6 square. It was bad luck for Magnus. I'll show the rest of the game quickly. In this position, Magnus resigned. Despite the unfortunate turn of events, Magnus secured second place in the tournament. That's it for today's game analysis. Although Magnus faced an unfortunate slip, his resilience in securing second place shows his strength as a player. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more chess content. Stay tuned for more exciting games and insights. Thank you.